Hey everyone, welcome to my first impression video. The Ethiopia DLC comes out next week, so I thought I'd do an impression on this. Somebody asked for my thoughts on this, so we'll just go ahead and watch the video through the first look video, and I'll just comment as we go. So let's see what this is all about.
Leads Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Best remembered for fighting off European powers, modernizing the nation, and ending slavery, Menelik established Ethiopia as a bastion against colonialism. Ethiopia's unique ability is called Oxuomite Legacy. Its cities earn extra faith from resources.
Okay, so extra faith from resources. This is pretty nice. So +1 faith for each improved resource. It's not just a certain type of resource too. That's what I like. It looks like it's you got a luxury here, bonus, strategic. So you get that from any improved resource, which is pretty good. This is something that can be helpful throughout the game. Early on, you'll get more faith for monumentality, golden ages. Later on, you'll have a lot of cities and a lot of resources. So this should be a pretty good boost.
Earn extra faith from resources, boosted even further when international trade routes originate from resource-rich cities.
Okay, so it looks like they get 0.5 faith per resource in the origin city. So this is a pretty good boost too. Early on, trade routes are kind of scarce. There aren't too many opportunities for that. So I think this maybe comes more into play later on, but pretty good ability, I'd say.
From resource-rich cities. The Empire can also purchase archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith.
Okay, so they can purchase archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith. So archaeological museums cost 325 faith. Right now in this scenario, they're generating 467 faith per turn. That's less than 1 turn of faith toward archaeological museums. I mean, 10 turns, and you could generating this kind of faith, and you could get like 15 archaeological museums, which is amazing. And then archaeologists are, I believe, 450.
Archaeologists.
Yeah, 450 faith for archaeologists, which is pretty good too. So I think this is a really nice ability, especially for a culture victory. I mean, generating tourism and culture from artifacts is really helpful. And then not having to spend the gold and the production on that is really nice.
Archaeologists with faith. Ethiopia's unique unit is the
Okay, so
cavalry.
the cavalry.
This cavalry unit replaces the courser. It has better combat strength and sight than the courser.
Okay, so better combat strength and sight than a courser.
And receives no movement penalty from moving on hills.
And then no movement penalty for moving onto hills. I think that's a pretty good boost. The no movement penalty is nice. It comes, so this is a medieval era unit. I think it's a pretty good place to get a special unit. But the thing is, cavalry are no longer effective against city walls, even if you have a battering ram or a siege tower. And by the medieval era, there may be some civs that have some walls up. So that's kind of unfortunate. I would have preferred an earlier cavalry unit. If this had been like a horseman replacement, then that would be awesome, because you can get horsemen pretty early, and usually the AI will not have walls by then, so you can go and conquer really quickly. And this would have been really nice with the extra movement on the hills. Still, I think it's going to be pretty good. I think this could be a pretty decent unit. So yeah, let's continue.
Ethiopia's tile improvement.
Okay, the rock-hewn church
can only be built on hills or volcanic soil. And multiple churches can't be built adjacent to each other. It provides faith and...
Okay, so this is pretty nice. These improvements give you +1 faith from adjacent mountains and hills, and then they have a base yield of +1 faith. So it's pretty good. The thing is, you may be giving up mines for this. Like this tile here is a 116 tile. I mean, it is good for the faith, but yeah, when you're low population, you probably wouldn't want to work a tile like that. Like if you're at 2 or 3 population, yeah, I don't know if that would be worth it. So it's not too incredible, but I think it is pretty nice. Another thing to consider here is it gives you +1 appeal. So it can counteract the negative impact that mines have on appeal. So this could be good for Earth Goddess, which gives you +2 faith for breathtaking tiles. With mine, it's all Earth Goddess is a great pantheon, but you usually want to build quite a few mines in your empire for the production. So, and those take appeal away. So it's very hard to get enough production and really maximize Earth Goddess. But with this, you can sort of come close, I think. I mean, obviously the improvements themselves are taking up a hill that you could mine, but I think this could be a pretty good Earth Goddess civ, maybe. And we'll find out in a minute that I really think my strategy is going to be to maximize faith generation completely. So I'm going to probably want a faith generating pantheon. And we'll see that in just a minute, because these guys get 15% extra science and culture from 15% of their faith generation in science and culture for cities on hills. So we'll talk more about that.
Adjacent mountains and hills. They can only be pillaged and not destroyed by natural disasters.
That's good too. So you don't have to worry about spending builder charges remaking these improvements. They can't be damaged, or they can't be completely destroyed by natural disasters. So you can just get a builder, put him over there. Repairing things doesn't cost any charges. So that's nice.
Once you research flight, rock-hewn churches also produce tourism.
Now that's another thing. So when you get to flight, these things produce their tourism in faith, I believe. Like, so I think these would give you each 6 tourism. So if you can rush to that and get a bunch of these out, I think you could have a pretty early victory. I'm trying to think, how long would it take to get to flight? Probably at least 150 turns in a culture game, maybe 175. But that could be pretty good. And the rest, there's another bonus coming up that can help your science. So this could be good. I think prioritizing flight might be important for a culture game, that is. And then, of course, in a science game, the faith from these improvements can be used for a classical monumentality golden age.
Also produce tourism. Menelek's ability is called Council of Ministers.
Okay, so Council of Ministers. This is so he receives science and culture equal to 15% of his faith generation in cities that are founded on hills. I think that's pretty awesome. That is a pretty significant boost. I think I would probably pair this with the new secret society that gives you 20%, the same boost but 20%, and then you also get extra gold with that one. It's the Void Singers give you gold, science, and culture equal to 20% of faith output. So combining that with this would be 35% increase on science and culture, and then 20% on gold. That seems really awesome, and so they give you the tools that you need to generate a lot of faith, and then there's already so many uses for that faith with monumentality, golden ages, but in addition to that, your faith can help you generate science and culture. So that is pretty awesome. There's a lot of different possibilities with that. So let's continue. They also get +4 combat
science based
on hills.
His faith output in cities founded on hills. His units also get extra combat strength when fighting on hills. Ethiopia's focus.
So the thing is, um, settling on hills might be a little difficult. Grassland, it's kind of grassland hills. It's not ideal to settle on those, but I think you could find a way around this, especially on like a New World Age map. There's so many hills you could find
Is on a
places to settle.
defensive, religious, and culture-centered game. Claim hill tiles early for your cities. The Council of Ministers ability can keep Ethiopia well-rounded, even as you try to maximize the amount of faith you are producing. If you don't win a religious victory, you can still use faith to purchase archaeologists, naturalists, or even rock bands later in the game, keeping the
Yeah,
culture
so
victory
lots of stuff you can do with faith.
within reach. Will you resist the powers that come at you from afar? How will you lead Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization 6?
Yeah, okay, cool. So I think they're a really awesome civ. Um, I have a couple different strategies that I want to pair with these guys. The first, I think the Void Singers are probably just the way to go on the secret societies for these guys. It just the 20% science, culture, and gold boost just goes so well with that 15% boost that Ethiopia gets already. And then so I would probably do holy sites maybe first in all of my cities just to get my faith up even higher and benefit from these things even more. And then I would, as a second district, if I was going a science victory, I would probably choose campuses, of course. And then you could do monasticism. You'd have holy sites in all your cities. You could do, if you can get even just one Dark Age in the game, that's 40 turns where you can run monasticism and get 75% boost to your science in cities with a holy site. So that would be really incredible to do. I really look forward to a science game with this. And it's kind of weird. I think the Void Singers Secret Society is still probably the way to go with these guys, at least for science victory. It would be a faith-based science victory for sure. It wouldn't be the traditional campus first science victory. You do the classical monumentality golden age, use all that faith to buy settlers, expand quickly, and then you'd be generating extra science and culture from all the faith, and then you'd want to get a dark age, at least one dark age if you can, where you would get that 75% boost, and that would be if you have holy sites in all your cities, that's 75% increase empire wide. Yeah, it would be insane. So that's one thing I want to try, and of course I want to try the culture victory with these guys. I think the strategy would probably be to do holy sites in all cities first, and then do theater squares second after that. For pantheons, I think so. Earth Goddess is definitely a possibility. I would want faith generating pantheons just because of this 15% boost thing, probably. At least if I'm doing science, the science game, that's probably what I want to do. So, you could do Fire Goddess as well. The rock-hewn church has to be built on hills or volcanic soil. So if you're doing like an apocalypse mode game, I might try Fire Goddess with this for +2 faith on volcanic soil. Let's see. Religious settle. You're probably gonna get you might get the first pantheon with these guys. Maybe not though. You would need a build. You need a builder to improve resources. But if you can get the first pantheon, religious settlements is always great. The free settler. Fertility rights in early builder. I think these guys make that a little better than it normally is. So that could give you, 3 extra faith in addition to the improvements that it already does. I don't know if that's worth. It's just one builder. I wouldn't usually choose the fertility rights pantheon, but it's interesting to consider how these guys would impact that pantheon. Um, let's see. So you could do Sacred Path or Desert Folklore maybe. I mean, for extra holy site adjacency for either desert pantheon, desert holy sites, or rainforest holy sites. That might be good. Anything that's going to get your faith up, because with that faith comes the science and the culture that you want so much. And then with that faith, you can already do so many incredible things. Um, so I think that I might even consider getting like a Gurdwara or some tier 3 holy site building with these guys. Uh, choral music would be pretty good if you're going to do holy sites in all your cities. Um, you might choose choral music as your first religious belief, and then your holy site buildings would give you culture, and it would stack pretty nicely with this. Um, if you do either the Sacred Path or Desert Folklore Pantheon, you might consider the work ethic belief for the extra production. So that's an option too. Um, religious colonization might be good for just making sure that you have your religion in all your cities right off the bat without any missionaries or apostles. So I think that those are two. I really look forward to trying a science game with these guys and a culture game with these guys. I think these guys could maybe rival Russia in some sense. It seems like the things that would work with a Russia strategy could possibly work with Ethiopia as well. So yeah, really awesome Civ. I look forward to trying it out, and hope you guys enjoy this one as well.